What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Uncomplicated Podcast. I am your host, Jules, with your co-host or lead host. Whichever. It depends on the episode.
Yeah. Lily.
Lily! Yes.
Last time you said I was the lead host and I never introduced, and I was like, this is, no. We're both co-hosts.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it. Yep.
Cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So we're co-hosting this together. Perfect. Last time we talked to all of you.
Yeah.
We talked about...
Fear. Me. We talked about me.
Yeah, we talked about you. Yes. How's that been going? How do you feel since?
I'm trying to remember this week, how it went. Was it a good week? Or was it a bad week?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it was a good week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on your good week? What made it good?
Well, I think I did a good workout, and it's been a while. Like, I took the time to do a good workout, and then I had a meeting with one of my bosses for marketing with her, and it went good. So hopefully I can be doing more hours with that.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of like what we talked about, and if there's like nothing really specifically happened about what like we talked about. We had a meeting, our next meeting for business to get it rolling, and it was like, it was okay.
So far, all the meetings we've had is they give us a bunch of resources and they're like, okay, go.
Yeah, which is like,
It's fine.
yeah, because then it's just we have to do, but it's just, I feel like it's two meetings that both are giving us resources instead of just being like, hey, do this and then go do that.
Yeah.
Which is like whatever, because I guess that is our job to do, to figure out. But it was still, at least we have someone, because he's like, if you have any questions, like he can, so now it's like, okay, now we just have to do.
I mean, we do know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's two things we have to do before we even move forward, right? So, but it was kind of fun when we were talking to the guy, he seemed very excited about our plan.
Yeah, well, he was even like, oh, you guys are thinking Canada Sisville? And then he's like, I live there.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So that was cool. Like, it was... like it's never easy to jump into something, but the fact that, I mean, like that's what he does for a living, right? He meets with people who have business ideas and try to launch their business, and like the fact that he was like somewhat excited about it, about the idea and what we wanted to do, and in the area that we wanted to do it in, like, I think shows that either not a lot of people have done it, or that is very it's very different. And it's just like, either way, I'll take it. It's motivating.
Yeah.
So if you hear the whining noise right now, it's the washer. We're doing laundry at the same time.
Yeah.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was fun. But again, he kind of gave us a bunch of resources. He's like, it's basically saying, here's what we can do for you, but before we can even start that, you need to do all of these other things first. And then once that is complete, come back to me and we can talk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we gave us until February 28th.
Yeah. So now we have to build a business plan, and we have to do a 2-year profit projection plan.
Yeah.
To give to this person in order to see where we go from there, because basically they're a nonprofit that helps people from 19 to 39 launch their first business. So yeah,
pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah. So if you're in that age group and you're thinking of launching a business, go for it. So far it's been a pretty positive experience. They're called Futurepreneur. And yeah, they're just there to help people. So
Yeah. Yeah, and they have a lot of like their website is full of things you can read and all that. So yeah.
So yeah.
So that's kind of a big thing. A lot of big things happened this week, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other big thing
is we got a car.
Yeah.
An SUV.
We got a second vehicle. The one vehicle was not cutting it anymore, and just based on your schedule and mine, it just didn't work. I would have had to spend like maybe $100 a week on Uber.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what, not worth it. So we bought a second car.
An SUV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very pumped for that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one. So.
And it's funny because I always like to help out the people I know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, which one of my friends or acquaintances sells cars? And then this person popped up and I was like, hey, we need a car. What can you do? And yeah.
We went there and not at all what I expected. It's super like it's just a typical sales guy, like super, how do you say it? Not, I don't want to say serious, but they're pretty serious. Like they're like, I want to sell, like this is business. And this guy was just, it was not that. It was great. If you're listening to this, it's great.
It was a good thing that it was not like that.
Yeah, exactly. He was fun and like just very caring about just like getting us a good car or the car that we want. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and he was very honest with the process. Like he was just like, yeah, like this is what I can do. This I can't do for you. This is what you would get if you go this route. This is what you would get if you go this route.
Yeah.
And just kind of laid it all out there. It was like, I'm not trying to hide anything from you. Like, again, did it help that I knew him? Very likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
It was.
It was, yeah. So yeah, we're getting that on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting that on Wednesday morning. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous. Excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah.
I'm gonna surprise my parents. So this won't come out before.
Yeah.
Just in case they listen to it.
I might surprise mine also.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Just show up. Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that also happened. What else? Like, as a whole, like training clients on the side of my full-time job, that's going well. Yeah, I am looking for at least one or two more.
Yeah.
To make it a really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so far so good. It's been great.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we talked about the last episode was essentially I was doing what is called the transformation challenge.
Yeah.
I was taking part in it, seeing what it would do to my body for 8 weeks. And like I'm taking it as the bare minimum, as I explained last time. I'm doing the bare minimum it takes to qualify for that challenge. So so far I kind of like retested with the in-body scan where it said I was 25% the first time. And that was last week, and it said that I was down to 24. So 1% in 2 weeks is not great, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then yeah, I'm just kind of seeing where it goes.
Food wise, you're still pretty on top of it too.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has it been hard?
So far, I don't think it's been hard. But I'm still at a decent amount of food.
Yeah, that's true. You haven't completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. We get home very late, and then we eat supper, and I'm like, "Okay, let's go to bed." you're like, no, I have to eat more.
Yeah.
Like,
Because that's one thing. Like, it's some days it's so easy to undereat,
yeah.
and other days it's so hard to stick to what you need to do. So I try to, even though, like, the other day, when was it? When we had pizza, I think.
Friday?
Was it Friday? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Friday. I was like, okay, I'm going to bed, because I was like hungry. And I was like, instead of eating more food, I'm just going to go to bed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happened on Friday. But then there's
Okay,
other
I
nights.
didn't know that.
Yeah. But then there's other nights where it's like, I want to go to bed. I'm like, no, I need to eat all the food that so
Yeah.
yeah. So struggle a little bit, but
you could, it's because you could also do that in the morning instead. Like, we're not doing the best at meal prepping.
no.
So,
Well,
like-
it's funny because that's what I want to, like, tonight. I want to meal prep for the week.
Okay.
Especially we bought the car now. I want to eat out less. I want to, meal prepping, I want it to become a thing again in my life, because you save so much money.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So that's a thing for sure. Meal prep. With that, I'm gonna start to be very consistent with now. Just because, like, it's crazy. Like, with Uber Eats or even like fast food, like, I eat a lot of food.
You do.
And it's very protein oriented, and that's never the cheap option.
No.
So anywhere I go, no matter what, it's almost always $15 to $20 if I pick it up, or $25 to $30 if I Uber Eat.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, that's so much money.
It is.
When here, it wouldn't be near as much as that.
No.
If I made it. So that's the plan. And again, that'll kind of help me also as I'm moving into these weeks of trying to lose body fat. It's going to allow me to know more and more and more and more exactly what goes into my body, portion wise, all of that. Because you order out, they say it's this much calories, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know.
Yeah. They say they put 3 ounces of chicken. Is it really 3?
Yeah. Did they calculate it?
It's like, that's a thing. So it's like, okay. So that's what makes it harder in that way. It's still very doable, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have not been tracking.
No, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Tracking is not the only way. And I think, I think most people have to understand that. It's like, yes, it is a way, but it's not the only way to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing I'm trying to do is just add a little bit more fruits. Like, kind of target that. And again, I'm still doing what I was doing. I'm trying to focus on high fat protein.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just kind of taking the step of, like, just trying to go move more versus like, I'm not trying to think too much about the food, because then it gets too much for me. I'm like, I just need to go exercise more, get to the gym more, and, like, figure that out. And then once that's figured out, is kind of like focusing more on food. But even then, right now, I think I just want to increase fruits and veggies. But I'm not annoyed with my food, because the moment I get too much into it, then I get stuck in between the calories versus the, like, healthy food. Like, it's like I get it's low calories, but it's also like, I don't know, like, I would rather eat like real
what?
Like what?
Like what?
Well,
Do you have an example?
I don't know if it's the greatest example, but just thinking about bread.
Yeah.
Like, getting, like, bakery bread
Mm-hmm.
versus the brand
Mm-hmm.
Bellagio or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, like, usually the brand has lower calories for two, and there's probably more bread for per two,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that's called, two pieces.
Slices.
Thank you. Because compared to the sourdough bread that's made at the bakery, like there's
Mhm.
you can tell that there's like less bread, but it's like I think it's better for you. I'm guessing
I mean, it probably is.
because there's less preservatives. I guess that's
Less
'cause it,
ingredients, less preservatives, less.
yeah. Because like
yeah.
that bread, the sliced bread, like the very
Mm-hmm.
it lasts for a very long time.
I know.
And then it's like, but the bakery bread is like 1
Doesn't.
week.
Yeah.
Max. So I'm like, well, there's something there.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
100%. 100%.
So, anyways, that's kind of
Yeah.
what I'm doing for fruit. So, but I'm not like overthinking it. I'm just trying to be healthier by increasing fruits and veggies.
Yeah. I mean, that's my first tip to almost everybody when they start trying to eat healthier is add more protein to your meals, add more vegetables, and add more fruits.
Yeah.
It's like just add stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great way to attack it for sure.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Moving on
Moving on to what?
to kind of the topic we're going to talk about. I don't know what the topic is, but well, it's questions. That is the topic.
The topic is questions.
Yes.
Got it.
I think. No, well, it's because, so was it yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday, no, was it
Friday maybe?
that he reposted your,
Friday or Saturday? Either way. Saturday. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's
it was
Friday.
Friday. It was Friday.
so Friday, this guy that's kind of like it was my mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and you could consider him your mentor also.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you did it. His name's The Exercise Mechanics. That's his
Yeah.
like business. And he was explaining, how would you say it? A way of, how do you say? I mean, like a way of rehab, not rehab, but what would you call that?
Manual therapy.
Yeah. Okay. He was explaining something on Instagram about like a manual therapy style, which
Yeah.
is MAT, which is something you got certified
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he commented on that story.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and say it. What'd you comment?
Oh, I mean, without saying the exact same words, I was
Yeah.
like, because essentially, long story short, the exercise mechanic was hired by our previous company to come do a workshop for us. And that was at the same time that I had just finished my third module in MAT.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like certified in lower body, upper body, and trunk and spine. So I was like, okay, like I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting to know the body really well, and and I had what he called MAT brain, which is not a bad thing. And during the workshop, he essentially kind of put all of that in question. Again, not in a bad way, just in a like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I just want to put one thing aside. We weren't dating it then.
Yeah.
We were just friends.
yeah. We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
So essentially, he posted a Q&A on Instagram, and somebody asked the same questions, like, what do you think of MAT?
Mm-hmm.
And he replied exactly what he had told me at that workshop.
Yeah.
And I replied to the story, and I was like, oh my God, I remember that when you blew my mind and kind of just made me realize like all the nuances and the gray zones around MET and fitness, and not that things weren't just like black and white.
Yeah.
I said something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the exact words, but
Well, you went. I don't know that word either, but like you went and said like not destroyed your beliefs, but like
yeah,
like your
shattered,
yeah.
Shattered my beliefs. Yeah. Because like I said, I was like fresh into MAT, third module and I passed all 3, and I was like, man, MAT is the future.
Yeah.
For like pain and dealing with pain and da da da. And then he comes to the workshop, and that's where it gets funny.
Yeah.
Because it's so interesting looking back. It's because it's like my perspective versus his perspective, which we can only assume as of right now because we haven't talked to him about it yet.
Yeah.
Versus your perspective versus others' perspective.
Yeah.
So he came into the workshop. I had all this knowledge, fresh new knowledge about the body, muscles, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And he came in and he would just like not go against everything I learned, but made me question everything I learned.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, it's just, because you said where you came from. Where I was coming from, I was freshly in school, university. Okay. And what you learn in university, a lot of times, at least as a student, that's how you think, whether the teachers say that or not. But like, it's very black and white, I find. So it's just like, it's one way or not, or at least that's how I learn. It's like there's no in between. Mm-hmm. And that's, again, it depends on your teachers, and it's probably just like, because they have to grade you on something, it's this is the right answer, this is the wrong answer. Mm-hmm. So like coming into this workshop, for me, like I felt kind of lost because I'm like, what the hell? But anyways, keep it.
So that's your background heading into the workshop.
Yeah.
And at the time we were both personal trainers. I mean, I still am, but like, yeah, like both personal trainers, and essentially I had been doing it for a little while longer than mm-hmm. Lily, but yeah, we were working the same job.
Yeah.
So we would see the same things.
Yeah.
So that happens, and I'm like, oh my God, like everything I thought I knew is now being questioned by myself, not just by him, but like by myself. Cause I'm like, well, if he's in the industry of personal training, he was a personal trainer, still is, and has done all of this research for himself and now is teaching. Yeah. I'm like, what does he know that I don't know?
Yeah.
And he said at the beginning of the class that he had done MAT as well.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, like he's done MAT and he doesn't think like I think. And then he's talking about all of these other things also. And I don't know these things.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I'm there like asking a bunch of questions. Like nonstop, just like question. Yeah. Oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about that? Like just questions after questions. And to Lily, it comes across as.
Well, it's because you're not only asking questions like, oh, how does this work? You're asking like this isn't exact, but how is this possible? Like, this is what I learned. Like, so like the way to me, it's like he's going against what he's saying. And in my head, I'm like, bro, he's the teacher. Shut the I'm like, I felt so bad for like, his name's Etienne. Cause I was just like, I'm like, he's just like going against what he's saying in front of all these people. And it's like, we're paying him to be here. Like, I'm like, sit down and listen. Yeah. Like, why are you talking? Like, let him teach. But that's just because, and it was just so funny. But then, so I feel, I don't know if I've asked you it or not, or no, I think that I didn't tell you this, but then when we started having more, I think of a thing, you were doing an internship with him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and at that moment, I was like, oh, so he wants to learn from this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, because in my head, I'm like, you're going against everything. And I was friends with him. So I was like, kind of like listening to, I'm like, I believe this guy more. even though we're paying this other guy. But yeah, no. But it was funny when you said you were doing this internship, because I was like, that also like was another moment of like, I'm like, okay, he wasn't going against what he was saying. He was like he's just like, you're like blowing up my mind. But in my head, like, as what I was learning, it wasn't two questions. He was like the one that was teaching, so he knew everything. So in my head, I'm like, I'm learning from him. He's telling me the answers, versus like seeing you ask questions, being like, yep, like, it's just, it blew my mind. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was uncomfortable.
And I think, and maybe Etienne in the future can like attest to this, but I think that Etienne was like, yo, this guy, fuck yeah. Like, I'm gonna answer, like, I'm gonna blow his mind even more. Because he was entertaining these questions as if it's like, yeah, like, let's go, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, knowing him a little bit more now, I can definitely see him be like, let's freaking go, like, let's talk.
Like, somebody's somewhat challenging what I'm saying. Yeah, well, and I have the ability to rewire that person's thinking.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just he was like, he wants to like, he wants to be. Or like I'm challenging his beliefs, so he's like trying. It's like turning right now, and like, and it's fun because he's probably one of the first teachers that I've seen that's like into it when we ask questions. Yeah, there's no defense mechanism. No. Like, because after that workshop, like, I started being a little bit more open to like asking questions, whether I knew it was because you started doing it or just me being like more, because we did 3 workshops with him, and he was very much like, let's go, let's talk, like, let's figure it out. So at university, I started asking more questions, like lifting up my hand, commenting on things, but you could tell like the teacher was like, just like, this is this, that's that. If you want to talk about it more, let's talk about it in the like later on, which I find some teachers aren't like that, but like a lot were, because they're just like, we need to get through this module. And it's just, versus Etienne, like, he would talk a lot about like, I want to get through all this, but it's like, if it doesn't, it's because like we were talking about something useful, which is like huge. So it's just like a difference that I find unfortunate with like schools, universities, or college, or even high schools. Like, it's like they do encourage you to ask questions if you don't know, but it's if like, you
don't understand.
Yeah, and it's like,
if you think otherwise,
you're definitely not like.
It's like they don't promote conversation.
No, and you can tell that teachers get, and it's, I don't want to be like, I don't know what goes on in teacher school. Like, I don't know what that whole thing is, but it's just like, you can tell there's a little bit of that, like, no, like, this is what it is, because that's just what. Well, the school system is.
we're gonna get in deep here, but like, at the end of the day, they come. In order to be a teacher, you come from a school system, which a school system is all about. The answer is right or not. Yeah. So that's how they learn to be a teacher. So they're going to teach how they learn. Yeah. So, so sometimes I assume they don't have the why this is the answer. They just know that this is the answer. So that's why they're not comfortable with conversation. Yeah. Because it's just like, example, like, the sky is blue, let's just say. And they're like, the sky is blue, blah, 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 blah. And then that kid goes like, why is it sometimes gray? Yeah. And then it's just like, they've never really thought, like, because they've always been told that sky is blue. Yeah. Like, this is a very drastic example, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's why a certain, like, defense mechanism kind of pops up, and they're just like you might embarrass me in front of all these students. Yeah.
Well, it's because they're not well, again, I don't know, but from what it seems like, they're not taught as teachers to like have a conversation in a way about things. It's more like getting through this lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to grade you on what
Yeah.
did you learn in this lesson.
Which works great for what the school system needs to do.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad thing. It's
No.
just...
It's just in the real world, like when you
Yeah.
come to like, especially in the fitness industry, like it's super black, it's super gray zone.
Yeah, super.
Like, anyways, I wanted to kind of like add something before we continue on this, because I'm going to try to make this make sense. But so the thing that I've learned is that I learn more from doing personal training and then doing the certifications with ACN and then going like being in school at the same time or going to this university at the same time. I was learning more, I find, or it was easier for me to learn in university. So like during the classes and all that. And I'm saying this because I think because learning from Etienne and like you and everything, I was able to sit in class and I could see which teacher, this might sound bad, but I could see which teacher was teaching because they were in the profession and they also learned what like we were learning at that point, versus a teacher that was like, that like they wanted to become a teacher first and then if that makes sense, like, or a teacher that was teaching modules versus a teacher teaching the actual what is PT. And like it's funny because like that teacher that I was like, oh, this guy knows, like this is a good teacher to be listening to. He was like, the people failed his class, which is an issue in itself because it's just like, but that's because he was so like human. Like he was talking as a personal trainer. He wasn't talking as a teacher.
An educator.
So then like students were losing their mind. Like like a lot of my friends failed and I just pass. But I like in my head, I'm like, yeah, well, it's because it's like he's not teaching the way others teachers teach is freaking confusing. So it was kind of frustrating in a way. But at the same time, I was like, if you're going to listen to one teacher, this is the guy you want to listen to. Even though it's like you're failing, it's like he knows what he's doing and the way he's explaining is amazing. But it's very confused. So anyways, I think I'm going on a rant here, but I think if you're somebody that's trying to figure out, like, depending on your career, but let's say with fitness, if you want to get into fitness, I would so recommend more like going into a fitness job, like PT, learning from other personal trainers, and then going to like college or university. But it also depends on like your end goal. If you're trying to be a physio, maybe not. But if you're just trying to learn more and be better, I think at your like at fitness, I think that's what I would recommend. I enjoyed university way more because I learned. Don't get me wrong, I wanted it to be over. But like, and just seeing teachers being like, they're actually humans. Like they have their mistakes. They're like not different than students. They have the same lives, except they're only with kids. And like, cause like some of the people I knew from the like TFL, he was in my class and now he's like part-time prof. He's same class as me. And I'm like, like how? But anyways, that's my rant. Anyways, but that was fun. It was fun talking about it yesterday because it was just like a first moment of like, that's how you were feeling. Like, and I was just like, I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what is he doing asking all these questions? Like, and then, sit down.
And then you had me who's just like mind blown, just like, tell me more. I want to know more. And I basically, all the questions that were, because I had previous teachers in MAT. Like I had 4 different teachers in MAT that I looked up to. And every time it was like, okay, like they say that this is the way it is. It's like, okay, what do you think about that? You were so... Oh and then Etienne, looking back, I'm sure he was like, he's stoked. He was just like, yeah, like, let's go. Let's talk about it. And then there's you that was like, what the hell is this guy doing? He's asking questions. He's the one teaching.
Yeah.
We're like, shut the hell up, just listen. And I was just like, man, like I want to learn more. And then there's others stayed quiet the whole 3 days. And at the end of it, we're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like I learned everything I know in school.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, so you were like the total opposite. It's like because he went a little bit more outside the norm of what you were told, you instead of being curious, you deny it right away.
Yeah.
You're just like, nope, I'm not listening to this person. So it's so interesting, the different people and how they perceived the same situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was around that time. Well, because it was around, well, I don't know. It was it was a year after we started having,
I don't know.
I think so. But during that like year, that's when I started to know more or let the gray zone be.
Yeah, you were very black and white when I first met you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
Yeah.
just you don't. It's like, well, that's the answer.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you have great mobility. Do you stretch? No, I never stretch.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that blew my I was you were just you went against everything that I knew, and I'm like, cause you had like the deepest squat. I'm like, how? Like you must like, and then you're just like, I just practice. I just go lower and lower, and
I just do squats.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it's like, you never stretch. I'm like, no, I never stretch. I mean, that's a whole topic, but
yeah. No.
I never stretch.
It's so funny. It's so funny how, yeah.
And it's funny because as I spent more and more time with Etienne and valued his ways of teaching, I kind of, how do you say that, tailored, when I had opportunities to teach, I tailored them around how Etienne would teach, because I find that a lot more, it brings a lot more value to the table, having people actually be like working their brains around, okay, what's the right answer? Why is it the right answer?
Yeah.
And like, could there be a different answer?
Yeah.
So it's like, because if you just go like, this is this, this is that, this is this, then they're going to leave that teaching lesson being like, this is that.
Yeah.
And we all know in the fitness world, it doesn't always go, this is that.
No.
It sometimes go, this is supposed to be that. What the hell is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I remember at the very first year, it was like somebody would come in with an injury and Google would be like, do this exercise, great for this injury. I would do that exercise and the client would be like, holy fuck, this is painful.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, but it's supposed to help.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've come a long way since then, but holy jeez. So that's the issue with, but anyways, yeah. It was just interesting. So Etienne, if you ever listen to this, please let us know.
I'm putting it in a reel, and I'm tagging him.
Yeah, please let us know how you felt during this moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we have our opinion of how you felt, but it may surprise us.
Yeah, yeah. It might be completely different.
Yeah.
You might have been like, this guy needs to shut the hell up.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he was like, I'm going to blow this guy's mind.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they've talked about it in one of their own podcasts. But the other guy, Ryan, was like, I love it when people like do not agree with us. Because it's just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
like, we're going to challenge. Yeah. Like, so it's fun. But yeah, I have a hard time. I can't, with like, if I think somebody's knows more than me, it's like I'll listen.
Yeah.
I won't like go, even though I don't like, unless I just, yeah. Anyways, that's that.
That's that. That was so yeah. So that was interesting. So yeah, if you want to check him out, Exercise Mechanic. He has his own podcast also.
Yeah.
Very, very fun guy.
Yeah, he's a very good guy.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot. You'll be confused.
Yeah, at first you'll be confused a lot because there's no direct answer.
Yeah. Yeah, and one day we'll have him on this podcast. One day.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why not?
Why not? So yeah, I think we're gonna call it there.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else to add.
No, just more like what to learn from this is more understanding that there is a gray zone, being open-minded, and like don't be afraid to ask questions, and even if somebody doesn't react well, it doesn't mean that you're in the wrong.
Yeah, and also what's important about this episode is a lot of people can be in the same situation and have a different perspective on the exact same situation.
Yeah.
And that's the craziest thing about all of this is I came out of it being mind blown. You came out of it being like, who is this guy? Shut the hell up.
Well, I knew who you were, but
And
I didn't know like
you didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
You knew who I was, but not who I was.
Yeah.
And then other people were like, oh, this guy goes against what I learned before, so he's a fraud.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to him.
Yeah, which is crazy to think.
Yeah. So,
yeah, because like I've heard like people say like, well, I don't like I've never seen him. I'm like, that doesn't mean like you'll listen to teachers you've never seen. Like you'll one day you'll pop up on Instagram and be like, oh, this guy looks jacked.
Yeah, I'll listen to him. Yeah. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Just let the information guide you. That's all.
Yeah. The more this, what is it? The quote? It's like I've heard somebody say like you. I don't know how it goes, but like the more blue, like the color blue, and then then you get more information. And then there's like, oh, there's aqua. There is this type of blue. There's this type of blue. I don't know what the quote is, but it's like now you have so many types of blues and you can decide which blue you want or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, so anyways, that's quite, it's like the more information you have, the more you can make your own decisions and have more access to different things. And
yeah, the more tools you have in your toolbox, the more reasons you have to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. On that note, we wish you all an excellent day, and we will talk to you in the next episode. Who knows what it's going to be about? Maybe another fun story like this. This was kind of fun, but I'm glad you like. I hope you liked the story.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.